Ah, this is an old picture. Because we've not got that red Discovery anymore. We've been through quite a few cars since then. I think we've had 4x4s in nearly 18 years. I moved here when I was 2 years old. And as I was saying earlier, the house were all the wrong way round. The house set up. You walk straight into the kitchen, then into a bathroom, then into a bedroom. So the kitchen that's behind us was the bedroom. So we cut a hole through and made it kitchen, dining room, lounge. I used to be in the room with one of my younger sisters, because I've got two. 2 years between us. And when my younger sister was a baby, she was in the room I'm in now. And my sisters had their own room together. So that's how it was. My mum and dad have always lived in that room. That one on the right? Well, not lived in. You know what I mean. So that's it in terms of arrangements. But as I said, it was all switched around. The house has grown around us. This conservatory wasn't here originally. I think a few years in, my dad added this bit on. And just added bits on. Made bits bigger in that. And eventually it became a bigger bungalow than an average bungalow. The garage has always been there. And behind the garage, I don't think you can see it on this. But if we change view, we might be able to. Yeah, my dad added this carport bit on here. And he built steps up to the back garden. And I think you might just be able to see back there. Because he tinkers about with cars and stuff. And fixes them. And then he made a bit to put parts in. Bits of the cars he'd dismantled. I always remember the smell of oil. And the grinding of saws and that. I used to help him out every now and again. I used to go and press the brakes for him. And stuff like that when I was younger. Still do it a few times now. When he needs me. If you look at the garage here. And the steps going up there. And the back garden's there. It's the biggest garden on the street. Because it goes into the corner. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 neighbours. Looks like it's got a newer bird's eye view than a street level view. So we've got if we move in, that's funny, I can still work it out. Slightly. The only problem with living down here is because we're lower down than the rest of Bolsover. A lot of my friends live on the flat of Bolsover. We're down in the valley. I didn't go out much in my younger years, but came out more when I got to secondary school. I went out quite a lot with them then. I think because they lived closer together, they went out more together. When they were younger. But because we're out here. So I went up in my later years. Hang out with them and that. So walking from here, I'd go to the end of the road, past the skip lorry, and walk up this road. In my younger years, we'd be taken up and down here with my mum and that to school. Picked up from school when I was at junior school, but then in secondary school, I started walking back down, and I'd just do this route, but the other way. I'd cut through here. We'd then go down the road, then cut through up here and past the garage. This would be a killer junction to cross, though. That's the problem with why I wasn't allowed to go to school later, because of this junction. They were meant to put in a middle island, but they've never done it. Because it takes somebody to get killed first. There's nothing on that road. It's a really bad road. It would have crossed here and then crossed there. The park here went a bit derelict and run down. They were like one broken swing. It went really bad and there were like glass everywhere. My mum's like a part of a group that wants to rebuild all the parks in Bolsover. So she got into this, and they were getting funding and stuff and sponsors to try and build it. And as you can see, it's definitely helped in that. Now they have like a gala every summer. If you can imagine, the whole park fields are full with people and things going off. That there was an old bowling green. Well, that was in disrepair as well. And there were just gates hanging off, and people were going in to have drugs and drink. It's now been changed into it dips in and there's acts on there. It's like tiered, if you get me. It's like an open stage when they have the gala. It's not used the rest of the time, I don't think, though. When I was really young, you really didn't want to come up here. I'm not even sure if people walked the dogs here, it was that bad. I remember having some good memories on the park, but then it just went and got worse and worse. There's an entrance there, and there, in the corner. I've never realised how big it actually is. When you go there, you don't really think about that. It looks like the overseeing eye, Lord of the Rings from here. I'll never look at the park in the same way again. My house is actually there, as you can see. If you were coming in the car, you'd have to go that way, around there, and turn right, and bend round. That's the way in by car. If it wasn't for those shortcuts, walking it would be quite a bit of time on your journey, really. So we'd meet up here and go on walks from here. Like go to the shops with our bit of money. The park would be there, and we'd cross again to the petrol station and pick at some things from there. But because all my friends lived on the flat area, they live round here, where it's more flat. And there's another shop, another one here, and we'd usually go to that one for things. We used to mainly meet at the park, but went on walks as well from here. We'd walk this way past the cemetery, and we'd be coming out of Bolsover into Hills Town, which is here. We'd go across this field, which, as you can see, has got goalposts. Then we'd walk across this field. Gosh, it's longer than I thought. I've never looked at it like this before. It's like signs, innit? Looks right strange. It's only the tractor wheel marks, isn't it? I think it is a public footpath. So we'd cross all these, and we get to this. I don't quite know what this bit is. It's just I don't really know. We'd call it Bluey's. And I think that's what mums and dads called it as well, so I reckon that's just been the name for years and passed down. It's just trees and that. And we used to climb the trees round here. And then this was year 8 and 9, so I'd have been 13, I think. We would have kept going all this way, and this is coming into Scarcliffe now, this village here. Then we'd have to cross this road. It's a bit like a country lane, because I don't think it had any road markings apart from that one at the end. Then we'd go down this bit of track here, and it'd then come out here, look. And we'd keep going down here. God, I honestly don't realise how long it was. It was a group of 5 or 6 of us. It could have been more, actually. Recently I did some filming here for my media coursework. I filmed a horror trailer here. I came into this bit of forest. My concept was like a murder, and they were following some people. They were following my mum and her friend. So I was filming, and my mum and her friend were doing the walking and that. For some reason, there's a big container in this field. I don't know anybody who knows what it's for. Just a random container that's always been there. Because that container's there, I thought if I film it, that no one knows what it is. I used to always wonder what it was. If we carry on down this path, we used to walk down the edge where the shadow is, and then we'd cut back into Scarcliffe. We used to come out in some random lane, and then cut back across the Mel Gibson fields back to the Blueys. There were always kids on bikes there too. I think that's mainly what people went there for. You're looking at it thinking what other people would have thought of. People would just go around on their bikes, We all thought it was a good place to chill, really. There were quite a few hours in the walk at weekends and all that. There's another walk we did as well. Well, that was back near where I lived. So down here, just past the petrol station. So we'd walk this way. God, we'd put some miles in, really, when we went on our walks. We'd keep going down here. Those houses weren't here then. I still go out on walks, but I don't go out with those friends as much anymore. Like I said, I've done that Scarcliffe walk with my mum again, on a family walk and that. That film that I did, I was meant to plan it, but I couldn't think of anything, so in the end I just thought of shots there that could create the suspense. So yeah, all these houses here are newer ones. So if we carry on down here, this takes you to Carville Ponds. Let's just move out a minute. I thought there was a car park near it. There's more ponds as well. There's a small fishing pond. I'm lost now though. It's them ones I want. That's the fishing pond next to the car park. I never actually realised it was a triangle shape. I just thought it was a square. That will be the way it is naturally too. That'll be the way it's naturally got, I reckon. Anyway, so we'd walk past the fishing ponds and down that track there. I think that's called Stockley Trail, and that goes all the way to Gratwell. So we'd cross there, round that pond. I remember this one time we walked across this field and crossed that one. And this were like, we were near the motorway here and somewhere. It's like a big derelict house. That's like the house. And then that's just a pile of horse muck. We walked across that slight cut through there. This was just one day in the summer. We went like having a wander round and kept going and going. And then came to this house and wondered, what's this? We'd never seen anything like this before. No roof or anything. Just a shell of a house. Like no windows and that. It was great to explore a place that we'd never been. We could have carried on and crossed there. But we never did. We only ever came here once. It was really good. I don't know why we didn't come back. It was great to explore and see what was around. It's strange seeing it like this, because I've never gone back to it. I've never seen my house this way either. I wonder if the motorway being here created that. Imagine the noise. It's a really random place for a house, because usually farmers' houses are on the edge of a field. Some are usually on the edge, or a bit further in, but this is random. For some reason, they've never demolished it. Because it is big. I never really thought of looking at it again till now. We went into that bit as well, full of overgrown trees and stuff. I think it's just another edge of a wall. I imagine that was another part of the house and that was another part. It was a big area, so I imagine it would have cost a lot to knock down maybe. Thinking about it, I think we did attempt to go again. But I don't think we could find the route, and I don't know how I just found the route to it now straight away. I think when we tried again, we came to a blocked off bit or something. It could be that the famous actor Mel Gibson had to get rid of this and move to Hollywood. Oh no, he's Australian, isn't he? Be funny if Mel Gibson's family actually moved from here in Bolsover to Australia and was inspired to be in the film Signs from growing up here. Anyway, they were just like loads of loose bricks everywhere. No machinery or anything. So I don't know if the farmer just left it as a dumping ground. Saved taking it back to the farm. Might just be that over time, stuff here is just being used. It clearly is still being used because of the tracks there, look. It might just be for the manure. I remember it being about 14 foot high. Mel Gibson isn't going to be happy, ruining his crop circles. You can take my crop circle fields, but you can't take my house. When I was much younger, we'd definitely go to the ponds. So that's to the egg, the triangle bit. We'd go up here past the woods, up here to this memorial. And I think that's on the walk round here. There's like another strange arty thing. It's like an egg that had fell off its box and been frozen. It's a lovely view of the castle there. We also sometimes walked on the castle fields. We'd go down my road and Highfield Road, up Ridgedale, and there's a cut through here into the wood. We'd then walk up this bit here through this cut through, then walk down this bit of path. Just down here, there's another cut through the trees, and you'd come onto Castle Fields just below the castle, and we'd cut across it and just walk around really, and follow scenic routes that my mum and dad used to go down. Because my mum used to live on this estate, which is known as the Wimps. I haven't got a clue why. I think this was the coal mining community. It's a council estate with a bad name, especially now. We never went onto the estate as kids. We just never did. I wouldn't avoid it like the plague or anything, because it's not that bad. You can drive through it and that. If I had kids and still lived here, I'd never take them onto it though. It's funny though, it's right next to the castle.